I presented Leslie, Professor Loco, with the Royal Gold Medal, one of architects' highest honors, to commend her commitment to championing diverse approaches to architectural practice and education. For over 2 decades, Professor Loco has devoted a career to amplifying the underrepresented voices and examining the complex relationship between architecture, identity, and race, which all has a profound impact on architectural education, its dialogue, and the way we discuss it. Her work has sought to democratize architecture, which was hailed by the RIBA Honors Committee this year as a clarion call for equitable representation in policies, in planning, in design that shapes our spaces. In 2021, she founded the African Futures Institute in Accra, Ghana, aiming to be a new model for education, for research, and public dialogue that unites the arts, the humanities, and sciences, and reimagines Africa as the crucible for the future. The AFI operates as a Pan-African think tank and is an institute that champions cutting-edge teaching and world-class research to confront contemporary challenges around race, environmental justice, and new forms of urbanism. Through her work as an educator and through the AFI, Professor Loco's progressive approach to architecture education offers hope for the future of Africa, future of our profession, that welcomes those from all walks of life, considers the needs of our environment, and acknowledges a broad range of cultures and perspective. Professor Loco is a humble revolutionary force with an ambition and optimism etching an indelible mark on the global architectural stage. She's an inspiration to me, and I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit more about her. Now, back to Lagos. In July last year, 10 member states of the Commonwealth Association of Architects, including RIBA, signed a landmark agreement. And this agreement enables vital knowledge sharing and expertise between the Commonwealth countries to address the issue of rapid urbanization, environmental destruction, and building resilience. The initiative seeks to ensure that all signatories are equipped with the capacity and the skills to create inclusive, safe, and sustainable urban cities. Using the Commonwealth and its network, the initiative will focus most urgently on countries facing immediate challenges. Activities will include developing capacity in policy, planning, and development, bolstering legislation, increasing learning and development opportunities, as well as urban planning and design work. It'll aim to increase professional competencies and climate literacy to create sustainable urban growth. It is climate action with a purpose. The agreement is designed to facilitate a dynamic exchange between organizations who are signatories to it, recognizing that some countries are already facing challenges that others will face for decades to come. We are delighted that the NIA joined the CAA Knowledge Sharing Partnership in September 2023. Together with other signatories, we're working on a common vision that can be achieved through tangible innovations, cross-sector collaborative action. Because I believe if you want to go fast, you go it alone. But if you want to go far, you do it together. And we're doing it together with the CAA Knowledge Sharing Agreement. Now, as I draw to a close, the journey from survival to thriving requires each of us to recognize our agency and our power and our collective will. It calls for leadership on an individual scale and a community scale, in areas such as the CAA, the Commonwealth Architectural Association, that is anchored on trust and integrity, as well as a commitment to collaborate, collaboration that transcends national boundaries. To make this mission possible, we must build trust capital that enables all of us to work autonomously and in a distributed way to make decisions quicker. The rest is up to all of us as individuals. This is why the UK has signed a landmark economic partnership with Nigeria's government. The Business and Trade Secretary of the UK visited Nigeria earlier this year to sign the UK-Nigeria Enhanced Trade Investment Partnership, ETIP. And my visit here, although not explicitly linked, builds on this commitment to collaborate. The ETIP is the first the UK has signed with an African country and is designed to grow the UK and Nigeria's already thriving trading relationship, which has totaled £7 billion in the year up to 2020. And in 1971, Wendell Berry, an influential environmentalist and activist, said, "A man who knows that the world is not given by his fathers, but borrowed from his children, is an important note to contextualize ourselves in this planetary backdrop." And this journey that I'm talking about, from survival to thriving for Lagos and for cities around the world, begins with a bold reimagination of what urban futures can be. And I believe this is where young, emerging, next generation folks, like myself, I think, comes into play. The future of Lagos and Nigeria is up to young Africans, the youth bulge, because we are borrowing it from them. I, in my capacity as the youngest and first Black president of REBA, am fighting the corner of emerging talent in the UK for a future profession that I want to be a part of, making a case for empathy on platforms that I'm privileged to stand on. I wrestled it from the old guard through a democratic process to usher a focus to humanize the profession, putting workplace and well-being on the agenda, advocating for empathy and understanding for the people and the context of the location that the architects are working in. And the future of Lagos, and indeed the planet, hinges on our ability to embrace fear and engage with the youth bulge who challenge the status quo. This profession of ours is built from learning from precedents, from learning from our past, what's been successful in the past, what we've inherited from our forebears. That's a way to operate with safety first. And it should be noted that this must be a paramount consideration to avoid building tragedies, collapse, and other things. But I ask all architects and built environment professionals to challenge themselves. A good justification for progressing the design going forward should not only be, this is how it was done before, because strictly adhering to the status quo got us to where we are today. We stand now at a crossroads where we need to significantly change course. We need to embrace innovative ways of doing things that gets us to the resilient, sustainable, net zero future. We need more convincing, creating a new path that draws on the talent and the new ideas of the young, emerging talents. We should all aim to promote collaboration internally and across industries, across verticals, even, might I say, with our competitors, to achieve our ultimate goal. That is to challenge and address the climate emergency. In this endeavor, our greatest assets should be our collective imagination, which is the capacity making us capable to build a sustainable future that is not just possible, but irresistible. Thank you so much for listening to me, taking your time to listen to me today, and God bless you. I hope you have a very good rest of the Lagos Architecture Forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the president of RIBA, Architect Muyiwa. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We appreciate. Thank you so much for remembering your experiences while growing up in Nigeria. We are glad that you could see some things in Yoruba. It's very good. Mommy is proud, and daddy is also proud. Also, thank you for your priorities. Thank you for the innovations you've told us about in the UK. Thank you for the alliance as well. Also, the Royal Gold medalist, you talked about Leslie Loco. She said all roads leads to Africa. Yes, all roads leads to Africa. If you are coming to Africa, all roads should lead to Nigeria. And if you are coming to Nigeria, please tell them, not every one of them should come to Lagos State. Lagos State is full already. You know, they should go to states like Ekiti, Ondo State, Idori, Ijebu. They should go to Ijebu. We need people there. That's a state. Ijebu, Ogun State. Let's be local. Bring your people to Ogun State. Tell her, you know. So we need them. Lagos is filled up. So quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having our very first product presentation from the Western African Ceramics Limited, Royal Ceramics. They are dealers in tiles, marbles. You know, I'll just leave them to talk about their product, sit back, relax, and enjoy their presentation. Thank you. Royal Ceramics.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aziz. I'm here to represent West African Ceramics Limited, manufacturers of Royal brand of products. Royal is a leading brand name in Nigeria. Our factory is situated at Ajaokuta, Kogi State, and we've been in existence since 1992. And what we do majorly in Royal is production of tiles of different sizes and different finishes. And also we deal in manufacturing of marbles and granites. The marbles, we have the engineered marbles, the one we call the artificial marbles, and we also have the natural marbles. The artificial marbles comes in different sizes, slab sizes that can be used for kitchen top and other places in your house, and also in offices for tables in the offices and maybe the conference room and other parts. So we have them in different colors as well. And for the tiles, we have them in different sizes, ranging from 60 by 120, 80 by 80, 40 by 80. We have 60 by 60, 30 by 60, 40 by 40, 25 by 40, and 30 by 30. Most of because we know the situation of Nigeria, we know some people like to go for high quality tiles, and we have some that go for low quality. That is why we have the ones that we make with ceramics that is easily affordable for those that cannot afford the high quality tiles that are made with porcelain. So the ceramic tiles, which are of 40 by 40 majorly, 30 by 30 and 25 by 40 also come in different finishes. We have the glossy and we have them in matte as well. The 25 by 40 are majorly used for walls, while the 40 by 40 and the 30 by 30 are majorly used for floors that can be used either for residential or offices. While our porcelain tiles that ranges from the 60 by 120, which we just started manufacturing, we have them in different finishes as well. We have the digital tiles, we have the super polish, we have the matte, and we have the silky, the one we call sugar effects. And they are also good for homes and offices as well. We also have the 60 by 60, the granite series, the wood series. The granite series are majorly designed for high traffic areas like church, schools, and maybe transport areas where we know that, okay, we have a lot of people that are going to use those places. The granite series are best advised to be used for all those places, while we have the super polish and the likes as well. Our 30 by 60 porcelain tiles also can be used for floor and also can be used for walls, depending on your taste of what you want to use it for or what you have in mind to do with the tiles. So I don't really have much to say because I'm not prepared for this. The person that is supposed to do this is not available. That's why I just have to stand in for him. But we have our stand here. If you need more, we have our brochures as well that can give you more information on some of our products that we do. So I will encourage you to visit our stand to see some of the products that we have there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you, Royal Ceramics, for that presentation. For you to know more about them, their stand is on the ground floor. You can take a peek, pictures. They have wonderful products. House, trust me. Moving on to presentation. We have a presentation from Surveillance Fire Limited. Now, a quick notice, there'll be an interactive session with Architect Muyiwa Oki on Friday. So please come on with your questions of any kind relating to architecture, please. Friday is going to answer them for you. Surveillance Fire Limited for their presentation, please. Please, a round of applause for them. Surveillance Fire Limited. I believe they are the ones making noise. Ton.
We don't make noise, we make notifications. Thank you very much. All protocols observed. And I want to appreciate the laugh. It's always interesting to be in their forum because we know what we have achieved through this wonderful forum. Thank you very much. I'm Engineer Jumade Adejola. I'm a fire engineer anyway. Our product, we are fire engineers. But basically, I just want to talk about the relationship that should exist between all the forums like consulting engineers, the architects, just the building industry as a whole. As for us, we market, we design, and we supply fire systems. We are major representative of NAFCO in Nigeria. We represent Siemens, we represent ADA. ADA is from France, and they are for public address system. And we represent Oshiki, the only system that have false alarm management. Now, we've been in existence now for close to 28 years, and we've known the length and breadth of this nation, even across the shore. We're in Ghana, we're in Rwanda, we are now moving to Kenya. And we've been doing a lot with the consultants, and we do a lot with engineers. But what I want to say in particular is about this resilience and the climate adaptation we are talking about. Since 2017, when we have a major fire disaster in the United Kingdom, that was the Grenfell fire. We are part of the auditor of that great building that got burnt out. We lost 72 people. That was exactly June 24, 2017. But probably before then, we have an incident in Dubai. That was December 31st at Address Hotel, December 31st, 2016. What really caused the fire in Dubai was the cladding. People in the hotel started running hectare-scatter, and there was a serious matter. We thought people would learn a big lesson from that. In 2017, when there was fire incident in the UK, Grenfell fire, we thought that tower, when the tower was in flame, we lost children, we lost a lot of people. It was so disastrous. And just of reason too, in March, just March, I think March 1st or 2nd, it was even my birthday, we had a very great fire incident in Valencia in Spain. All this one I'm talking are the high-rise buildings. They are tall buildings. Why am I giving all these statistics? It's because the design should now reflect the safety. And then we're talking of adaptation, most especially the Grenfell fire, the major cause of that. The firefighter came, but the smoke extraction did not work. That was caused the fire. Also, there was no wet riser in that tall building, the 24-story building. The only riser they had was dry risers. So the firefighter could not use water. They were looking for water everywhere because there was a shortage. There was a cut in the fire. Therefore, why am I saying this? During the design by the architects, because we're not talking of the resilience now, we should look at design that will support the green, that will support space, that will eliminate something like cladding. Cladding is an aesthetics issue now. People talk about cladding. But in the UK, you will testify to it that they have discouraged the use of cladding. In fact, you can never use it again because some of them now, they have asked them to stop using it because it's the most effect of fire. And when we are building, we are talking about aesthetics. We should think of safety, most especially when we are doing our design. I appreciate the architect. So we need a collaboration with everybody, all the sectors in this forum, in the building industry, so that we can come together, be coming together and do things the way it should be done. Most especially in Nigeria, where the system we're just involving, we're just trying to make sure that things are done the way it should be done. So the architect has the greatest role to play in this instance. They are the lead consultant in the building industry. We support them, we appreciate them. Majority of them have to consult us and ask for questions. Because when it comes to the fire, we have some people that are specialists. This is our own profession. So we need to collaborate together with the consulting engineers, with the architects, and everybody, so that we can have a safe environment. Having said that, we have our stand there. When you get to our stand, you will discover that all the products we promote in Nigeria are approved products. They are specialized products. They are the product that can last you and give 15 to 20 years lifetime. They are not the products. Some people would say fire extinguisher is just fire extinguisher. No, fire extinguishers are not just fire extinguishers. Some you will apply, it will have effect on your skin. Some you will apply, it will give you asthma. Some you apply, it will give you health issues. So you need to understand that most of these products are not just products. It's not because you just want to fulfill all righteousness and say, okay, I'm going to buy this. Should be just to buy. No, it's not about to buy. It's about your own safety. So we have our stand here. We represent Nialsc. Nialsc is one of the biggest manufacturers of firefighting equipment in the world as of today. They are located in Jebel Ali, Dubai. And they've been in existence now since 1990. And they are operating in over 120 nations of the world. So we are happy to be representative in Nigeria. If you want, don't just go to anywhere and say, a lot of products are adulterated and people are now saying that they have this, they have Nialsc here. You can never have Nialsc anywhere except from Sutherland. And that is where you have the original equipment. I thank you very much, and I appreciate everyone for coming. God bless you. We welcome you at our stand.
Thank you very much, Surveillance Fire. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you. Very quickly, a reminder that we're going to have an interactive session with Muyiwa Oki on Friday. Please, your questions, your queries. I'm sure we have quite a number of things to find out how we can do better, how we can collaborate. Please come with them on Friday. Next, we'll move into the opening of the exhibitions. I'd like to invite our chairman and host for the day, Architect David Majakodumi, FNIA, to carry on with this. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes up.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And Engineer Adelugba, thank you very much. Right. Unfortunately, we're not having the governors around, but the sensitivity to this. Yeah, since we didn't have the governors here, can you hear me? Yeah. Now, the sensitivity to this, because sometimes I like to play that sensitivity. And what I want to tell you matters so much. You see, I mentioned in my speech that there's nothing you give birth to, and then you see it growing 15 years. And I must tell you, I look up to these people ahead of me. And I must tell you, I was telling Muyiwa, I wasn't a member of NIA, or I didn't get my NIA until 24 years after my RIBA. Now, and the people that contributed to this, and that is where the sensitivity comes in. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm talking of Benebo, immediate past president. I'm talking of Abimbola Ajayi. You encourage me. And what brought it up is the policy making to the government. The government called me in as a consultant. Professor Okedele, are you still here? All right. Now, you encourage me because it was more for the architect. I said, David, it's high time. You need to be part of NIA. Architect Benebo, thank you very much for encouraging me. Abimbola Ajayi, thank you very much for encouraging me. And on this note, I want to give the honor to you. Abimbola Ajayi, together with Benebo, you declare this exhibition open. And also to recognize Titi Adeleye, a former vice chairman of this chapter. Please, can you be upstanding, Titi? Now, when we finish with the opening session, we only have the opening session not more than 30 minutes, please. Now, since the governors are not here, we saved about 2 hours. We quickly have the opening session, the opening of the exhibition, and Titi Adeleye is going to take over because she's the chairman of the scientific forum for the afternoon. And that's when we called Desmond, my big brother, cousin, Majakudumi, and QS Dajuma Waniko to give us their paper. So thank you very much. On this note, Architect Benebo, I refer to you as my mentor. Is Architect Otegbade here? Please be upstanding. Yes, former Vice Chairman Adeoti is here too. Please be upstanding for recognition. Now, let me tell you one of the reasons why I'm calling Otegbade. We've been friends for over 50 years in secondary school, sitting beside each other. And while Bimbo and Benebo were, he said, no. He was another instrument, a main instrument for me being a member of NIA. And Muiwa, don't worry, you'll be a member of NIA, most especially Lagos and Ogun chapter. So that will happen next year. So on this note, Architect Benebo, past president, and Architect Abimbola Ajayi, the past AGS, they are both past chairman of Lagos State chapter. So you please, and Muiwa, Madam President, and our guest speaker, our parent, Muiwa's parent, Muiwa, you join them, and we're going to declare the exhibition ground open. Moniba and the chairman organizing committee, please be here to chaperone them.
So we'll just take a few minutes to declare the exhibition open, and then we would all come back upstairs to continue with the speakers. It is still the Lagos Architects Forum 2024, LAF 15.0. Our theme is Lagos Resilience and Climate Adaptation. Please don't go after the cutting of the tape for the exhibition. We are coming back up to continue with our program for the day. Yeah, okay.
All right, longest. Thank you. Because you are on duty. Yes.
To this side, the two of them, to this side.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a thing of joy that what started 15 years ago has flourished in spite of the economy and the downturn in so many things. And today, we are gathered here to witness LAF 15.0.
We pray that this laudable project, which has become the flagship of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, will continue to flourish and be a beacon. And be a beacon of hope to the industry, stakeholders, manufacturers, architects, engineers, and all of that. So on behalf of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, I hereby declare, we hereby declare LAF 15.0 open to the glory of God. Amen.
So starting with urban roots, mainly, can you tell us what you do? Snappy?
Okay, we are Urban Roots Plastic Formwork Board. We produce reusable, multi-reusable, and recyclable formwork that can be used for concrete casting and as well interior decorations.
All right, thank you. And then starting with also host.
Alan Carey.
Was the oh yes, Alan Carey. Alan Carey, yes. Please,
good afternoon,
you have
everybody.
2 minutes.
Yeah, honorable dignitaries.
Oh,
so we, the company called Alan Carey Technical and Logistics Limited, we are a one-stop solution for all the construction needs. We are into sanitary, bathroom fittings, construction chemicals, and all building materials. So we're representing Bostik and Villeroy and Borg, Don Brad, Henco, Sarah, and many more. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alan Carey. And next, we're going is one of our partners as well. That's Surveillance. They've been partners for more than 4 years since I've been the chairman. And can you tell us about your product?
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Surveillance Fire Limited stand.
Please,
Fire
audience,
System
please.
Engineering Company. So
You've spoken a lot, so.
So we have all our products here from NAFCO firefighting equipment. Welcome.
Thank you very much. A lot of the exhibitors are here for the next 3 days. And mind you, I hope everyone is listening. We're having a raffle draw every day, courtesy of LG. We have microwaves. We have air conditioning to win. And the more exhibitor you visit will determine your raffle draw. This is very important. Next is Fine Crate. Yeah, Fine Crate. Where's the mic? Please, you have 1 minute.
Good morning, gentlemen, gentlewomen. Good morning. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping by our stand. So this is Fincrete Global Company. We are the country representative for Velocit. It's a German-based product. All the quality control and manufacturing process is being done there. This is my team that I work with. So we are into construction, chemicals, and materials. We have ranges of products that you can use, starting from your foundation, your slab, your exposed roof, retaining structures, and the likes of them. And we would love to have you stop by so we can see how we can form a valuable partnership with you. Thank you so very much.
Please, it's very important that you visit all these exhibitors because at the end of the day, there's always a raffle draw courtesy of LG. So the number of exhibitors you visit will determine your participation in the raffle draw. The raffle draw has microwaves and air condition. So we're now with Tower Alloyed Industry Limited. Please, you only have 1 minute. Just quickly talk about your product because I know you still have presentation later.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Here is the Tower Group, Tower Alloys, TRG, and we have roofing and the port also together under the umbrella of African Industry Group. You can see a couple of samples we have displayed here. So for the windows and doors, we have all the products available for you. And also for the port, you can see the display on the banner, as well as the roofing. And what again, we have the TRG here also, all together under the group.
When we get there, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now we're right in front of Nigerite. Nigerite has been a partner to LAF since the inception of LAF. And I must say a big thank you to you. And when you look at it, they're not occupying a booth. They built their own booth. They built their house with their, yes, they used to build a house with the dry. And I must say thank you very much. You have just 1 minute. You still have a presentation during the course, but please let our dignitaries,
Okay.
you know.
Thank you very much.
1 minute, please.
We are grateful to have you in our booth. This is Nigerites Limited and Emenites Limited. Actually, this is ETEX. And under ETEX, we have Emenites and Nigerites. So we are market leader in fiber cement products. We do roofing, we do ceiling, we do cladding, we do what we call Simplissima. This is also a kind of fiber cement board, but it comes as a constructive material and a decorative material. You don't need to paint, just fix it. It looks like tiles. You know, it's a nice product. And we also have this is just to show what you can do with fiber cement.
You're still going to have your product.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, moving on to Comat. Comat is another partner. And please, meant it because I'm trying as much as possible to get more raffle prizes. But I've got microwave, we've got air condition. The more you visit all these exhibitors, the more you qualify. So every blessed day will have a raffle draw. So you either win an air condition or you win a microwave. But at the same time, I'll get more product from the exhibitor. So you have 1 minute to tell us about your product. You're still having your product presentation, but just 1 minute to introduce to.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see such lovely faces today. I work with Comat. We're partners with First Rock, and we're into construction chemicals. What we offer is constructive solutions. So whatever problem you have with the building, we have a solution for any issues, waterproofing, protective coating, concrete repair, whatever it is, industrial flooring for the hospitals, for your parking area. We have all kind of solution for any issue. And we also offer after sales solutions too. So if there's any problem later on, you can always call on us. Thank you.
Well, the next one, it's almost about 5 companies put together under the umbrella of NLPG, Nigerian Liquefied Petroleum Gas. As you're aware, we're trying to encourage numbers of estates, you know, to have, you know, what we call the, you know, having a gas tank, and so that we come out of every individual houses having a gas cylinder. And I have with me, they've been partners for about 2-3 years as well. And I have with me Fanoiki to tell us about the NLPG, and we'll come over to your stand as time goes on. You know, but just for the opening exhibition, just 1 minute to introduce yourself, your product.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Femi Fanoiki, and I'm with the NLPGA. That's the Nigerian LPG Gas Association, and we're the umbrella organization that promotes the usage of gas, you know, throughout the system. In our booth today, we want to share with you some experiences for gas. Yes, so we have Link City, one of our members. They specialize in air conditioning, gas heat pumps, which saves you a lot of money. LGV Gas Systems is a reticulation specialist, so all your central gas piping is done. We have Gas Tech. Gas Tech specializes in gas water heaters, yes. Today, with the price of electricity, we know that that's a major consideration in the building. So we can do all of that for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we move on to Scan Nigeria. Just 1 minute. Quickly introduce your product. Just 1 minute.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay, we are Skin Nigeria Limited, providers of suspended ceiling tiles for internal spaces, schools, hospitals, retails, and construction sites. So these are the examples of our prototype samples for our different boards.
All right, thank you very much.
Mineral fiber boards.
Moving on to another good partner, Lafarge. Actually, we met last week, and Lafarge has always been very supportive, and they have this new product called Water Shield Cement. You only have 1 minute.
Okay,
Because it's just for the opening of the exhibition.
Welcome to Lafarge African PLC. My name is Judah Morige. Lafarge is not just a cement company, but a building solution company. We pride ourselves in innovation. That's why we're introducing our new water shield cement, which is the first waterproof cement in Africa. Yeah, you'll get more information when we go upstairs.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lafarge. And then we're now with Real Ceramic. We've had their presentation, and so we might not, no, we don't need to do much talk. So we're now with BM Direct. BM Direct, just 1 minute to talk to us, and then we go round to, just 1 minute.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
It's not a product presentation,
Yeah,
just quickly.
I'm Razak Kanye from BM Direct. We are leading manufacturer of external doors and internal doors. All our products, they are locally manufactured here. Our materials are sourced locally and we build to specification. They are bespoke doors. We can produce to your finishes and our materials are locally sourced and available here. So we have different range of doors.
Thank you very much. Just 1 minute. We move on to Multi-Locks. Multi-Locks, quickly just tell us about your product just for 1 minute.
Good afternoon, all. Welcome to Multi-Lock Nigeria Limited. Our factory address is at number 58B Morrison Crescent, Oregon, Alausa, Ikeja. All our doors are made from galvanized steel. They are weatherproof doors and sandproof doors. Please feel free to visit our factory.
Thank you very much.
Come and place
And one of our main partners as well, LG. Like I told you earlier, we are having some raffle draw prizes from them, ranging from microwave to air condition. So Paul, isn't it?
No, Salmon.
Salmon. So quickly tell us about LG product, just for 1 minute. This is for the opening of the exhibition.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Like, as you all know, that life's good with LG Electronics. So we have a range of products that are very good technologically. You know, LG is all about innovation. So we have a quite a lot of innovative products that we are here to exhibit today.
Thank you very much. Now we move on to Saint-Gobain. Saint-Gobain. All right, just 1 minute. You still have your product presentation, but this is for the exhibition opening.
Okay,
The number of exhibitors determine whether you partake in the raffle draw. There's a raffle draw every day. Oh yeah, go ahead, Saint-Gobain.
Thank you very much. This is Saint-Gobain, and we are into the production of light and sustainable construction materials. And we have our Isova brand here, which is majorly focusing on the insulation materials. We have our Weber product, which is focusing on the tile adhesive and more mortars, our grout product. We have our glass solution. We have our glass product. And we have varieties of them. We have Jeep Rock, which is also focusing on plasterboard.
Thank you very much. Just 1 minute, and
thank you.
we are over to megawatts. Yeah, just 1 minute. You're still coming over.
Good morning, everyone. We are Megawatts Nigeria Limited, indigenous mechanical, electrical, and piping building service contractor. Have worked across any industry there is to think about. ISO certified, validation of our quality management system, located in 3 locations across Nigeria, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and expanding into Ghana and Kenya this year.
Thank you very much. So over to HFP. Sorry. Over to HFP, and thereafter we go back for the continuation of the first day. HFP, Bidetti, please get ready. So HFP, 1 minute, just for the opening ceremony.
Welcome,
so,
sir. Thank you for coming to our store. This is
near.
This is HFP Paving Stones Limited, and we are known in this Lagos State for quality. As you can see from my right, this is the I-type, which are the parts of the shapes we have in HFP. This is I-type 80 mm. And this is the crest. This is equally 80 mm for roads, both highways and estates. From this side is the bow map. the double T. Can call it double T or you call it bone type.
All right, thank you very much. And lastly, we have Bidetti Building Products. Just tell us about your company, just for 1 minute.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Okay,
Sir,
yeah.
yeah.
Bidetti Building Products is into the production and installation of UPVC windows and door systems. We also do retractable mosquito nets. And we do roller shutters also.
Thank you very much. So can we all go back? Can we all go back to the gallery and continue with the session? Mind you, the real scientific forum is just about, is beginning now. We're having Desmond Majakodumi and Danjuma Waniko as our speakers. So please, everyone, come back upstairs. We said 30 minutes. Good. We've only spent just 20 minutes. So please, at this point, I would like to call on Architect Titi Adile because she's the chairman of the session. So we take just two product presentation while we're getting ready for the scientific forum, please.
It is still the Lagos Architects Forum 2024, LAF 15.0. Our theme for the year is Lagos Resilience and Climate Adaptation. So very quickly, we take a product presentation from Lafarge. Please put your hands together for Lafarge. Come on. Thank you. While he's coming up, I would like us to please recognize the National President, Building Collapse Prevention Guild, BCPG, TPL Suleiman Yusuf. Are you here, sir? Please a round of applause for him. Thank you. Would also like to recognize the chairman, BCPG Lagos State Chapter, TPL Joseph Akonde. Are you here, sir? Please a round of applause for him. So we have Lafarge.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to stand on the already established protocol. My name is Emmanuel Laboya. I am the head of products and innovation for Lafarge Africa. First of all, I'm here to congratulate the NIA for this great achievement. LAF 15.0, I mean, it's not easy to be doing this consistently for the past 15 years. So congratulations. And I'm happy today to be here to just present to you what Lafarge is and also to share with you our latest innovation. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm sure many of us know Lafarge, but I'm here to tell you this afternoon that Lafarge is much bigger than what we see or what we know. Lafarge is part of a big group called the OSIM Group. OSIM is based in Switzerland, and OSIM Group is the largest cement and concrete manufacturer in the world. We operate in more than 60 countries today. We are the biggest, not just in the products we do, but when it comes to R&D in the whole of the building material industry. So not just cement and concrete, in the whole of the building material industry in the world, we have the largest R&D. We are the leading company when it comes to decarbonization and sustainability within the built industry. We are the very first globally to launch both green cement, green concrete, and a circular brand in the world. We have, so for us, sustainability is a big topic. I know everybody talk about sustainability. For OSIM as a whole and for Lafarge, sustainability is not a cliche. We are, since 2020, we have been leading the forefront to decarbonize the built industry. We are not one of those that argue whether our product is harming the environment. we know for a fact that cement is one of the biggest contributors to CO2 in the world. So what we have decided to do as a company is to be part of the solution. So instead of debating whether this is true or not, we have come out to say clearly, we will do everything we can to make sure that we are reducing our carbon footprint. Next slide, please. So as a group, Lafarge operates in 4 major segments. So we have the cement, this one you know very well. We also do ready-mix concrete. So ready-mix concrete is you have a pre-mixed concrete from our factory, then we come to your site or location and just pour the concrete. So instead of having, you know, when you are doing your foundation, when you're doing your decking, as they call it, or your slab, and you have more than 200 people going up and down, you will start from 6 a.m. in the morning and work throughout the night. With our ready-mix solution, we come in advance, we measure your slab or your decking, then we just come pour. In less than 30 minutes, that is done. So we have that solution as well. We also have our aggregate division where we sell quality stones, gravel, both fine and coarse aggregates. Then we have product and solutions where we sell mortar products, GCC products, specialized products for different applications for you to use. Next slide, please. So Lafarge, our vision is very simple. We are not just a cement manufacturing company. We are a building solution company, and we want to be known for our innovation. We want to be known for our sustainability. We want to be known as one that is creating a greener planet so that we can leave a good place for not just our children, our great-grandchildren. So we want to be known for creating a greener planet through innovation. So one of those innovations I'm going to share with you today, and also through operational excellence. Next, please. So in terms of portfolio, ranges of portfolio, we have different portfolio for different applications, for different customer segments. So we have our popular brand, the classic brand, Elephant brand for many people that are in the West. We have the Unison brand for people that are in Calabar, in the eastern region of the country. Then we have our Ashaka brand from the north. These are your high quality general use purpose cement. So if you want to build a house, anything from bungalow to up to G+4. So ground 4+4 or +5. These are high quality products you can use, and they've been in existence since 1950s. Actually, this product built this country. We have our tile adhesive solution that you can use to plaster your tile. We have our latest innovation, waterproof. I'm going to talk about that. Then we have our EcoPlanet, which is the very first green cement in Africa and also in Nigeria. We have product dedicated for blocks. We have our product dedicated for the infrastructure segments, very high strength products that you can use for bridges, for road. We have our road stabilization that you can use to stabilize the road. We have sulfate resistance solution that you can use in aggressive areas where you have high salt content. So if you're building in the beach, for example, or areas with high chlorine or salt contents, that is the solution for you. Then we have our oil well cements for people in the oil and gas industry. Next slide, please. Okay, so today, just to share with you our latest innovation. Actually, this product was launched last month, and I want to share with you, and I think it's very relevant even to the theme that we are discussing today, which is the resilience and climate adaptation. I'm sure everybody in this room have seen this picture before. You've seen this image, whether in your house, on your streets, very close to you. We are very familiar with damp. We must have seen the damp. We must have seen what we call efflorescence, which is like this salt-like white things you see on the wall, or even steel corrosion, what we buy steel. Now, in a building, water comes into a building in many areas. So water comes from the ground of the building. It also comes from outside. So when it rains or when it's flooded. So we call it capillary absorption. Engineers call it. So the major reason for having damp, all those ugly things you see on the wall, is because of the water coming from the ground. And this also causes efflorescence on the wall. So what people do today is what I call a cosmetic solution. So people go buy your regular cement, they look for waterproof compound, try to mix it together, They scrape the, the front of the wall, then try to plaster it. Then after some time, it comes again because you don't actually have a solution that is addressing the real problem. And this is why today, I'm happy to announce that for the very first time in Nigeria, we are addressing that solution head on. And we are launching, next slide, please, our waterproof cement. This is the very first waterproof cement in the country. And what does it do? Next slide, maybe just to show you next slide. So this product, actually, it's a product of many, 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 many years of research. We've been researching on this solution for more than a decade, actually. And currently, we are selling it in about 15 countries within the OSIM group today. And it's a patented solution. It's a solution that is addressing dam. So when you use our water sheet to do your foundation, so this is why it's important we are talking to the architects in the room, the specifiers in the room, so that when you are doing your design, you can specify a solution that can address the real problem of capillary absorption. So when you use this to do your foundation, your DPC, it helps you to reduce drastically the rate of water permeation. So the water coming from the ground of the building is drastically reduced so that you don't have your damp, you don't have the efflorescence, or your steel being, or having a steel corrosion. So dam resistance, it takes away all those ugly things you see on the wall. It helps you fight efflorescence so that you don't have all those salt-like things you get on the wall. And also, it helps to keep the integrity of your steel. You know, the steel is very important in your building so that it can keep the integrity of the building and your building can last much, much longer. For example, we launched this product about 10 years ago in India. All of the houses that have been built with that product 10 years ago in India, none of them has all of these ugly things. Just to tell you, if you suited that to Nigeria, even if you build a new house today, I guarantee you in the next 2-3 years, you will see this. So for the first time, you have a solution that can address that head on. The last point here is very interesting. We talk about breathability. And people always ask me, does concrete breathe? Does house breathe? Actually, they do. You see, when you see all those fine houses you see, and people put ties outside of the house, not because they love ties so much, because as you know, ties are very expensive. They're actually using it to hide something. It's because there is something that they're trying to hide. So with this solution, you don't need all those to go and buy those expensive ties to hide that. Next slide, please. So who are these products for? Who are these products for? So this product is for individual home builders, you and I, that want to build your homes, for masons, for contractors, people that are building, real estate developers, for professionals like you in the house. Because even right at the point of design, we feel that we can start specifying a solution like this to help us address some of the major issues we are facing, not only in Lagos, by the way, in most parts of the countries. So our recommendation is that this product should be used in many areas. When you are building, when you are doing your foundation, when you are want to do any concrete work that is in a high water table area. So your kitchen, showers, swimming pool, anything that is exposed to water, we strongly recommend that you use this solution. Then it can also be used for renovation, because let's face the fact, if you already built your house, you cannot demolish it just to start building it again because you want to use the solution. For that, if you want to continue with the cosmetic solution, you can actually use it. It still prolong the aesthetic much longer than what you are using today. But our recommendation actually is for every new construction, already start with it. It gives you much peace of mind compared to the other solution. I strongly encourage you to visit the booth. You will see a live demonstration where you demonstrate it and you can see how the solution works. Next slide, please. So this is the next, just play the video, then that's all. Just to show you how they put it.
A very proud father of the president. You're welcome, sir. Also, would like you to please join us to welcome his mother, Mrs. Laura. A round of applause for her.
Today is an all Okiri affair. You're welcome.
Sorry, it looks like we are hearing something. We are hearing something else.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of our speaker in the house.
Sorry, the audio is not matching the video. Okay, there seems to be wahala in playing the video. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm still around. If you have any questions, any clarification, we are more than happy to take questions and also to talk more about this. Thank you very much. Thanks for your attention.
Sure. Thank you so much, Lafarge, for your presentation. Bring it on. Thank you. Thank you. I think I've been hearing Lafarge far back as when I started architecture 2011 in the Federal Polytechnic at Ado-Ekiti. And there, we used to come to Lagos because we felt Lagos is the center of everything. We park ourselves inside the bus as a student, young student, and come to Lagos for excursion. Lafarge, 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 we'll be so happy in Ado-Ekiti then. And then when I relocated back to Lagos for my HND in Yaba College of Technology, we saw the Lafarge as, just Lafarge, not the Lafarge we knew back in Ado-Ekiti. And trust me, they've been very, very supportive of the built environment, students, they've been very supportive. Please put your hands together for Lafarge. Still on presentation, ladies and gentlemen, we have Nigerite. Nigerite representative, please. I'd like to recognize the presence of Professor Dare Abel, the Dean of Caleb University. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you. Nigerite.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here for ETEX Nigeria. My name is Engineer Felix Echezoma. You'll be wondering what is ETEX Nigeria, what is Nigerite? The MC introduced us as Nigerite, and I'm coming here to talk about ETEX Nigeria. Okay, before I start, I really want to thank all of you, all the architects practicing in Lagos, all the architects practicing all over Nigeria, for being really our backbone, for being part of our success story. Without you guys, maybe we wouldn't have been around for more than 60 years that we are in Nigeria. ETEX Nigeria, like I introduced us, is made up of two companies, Nigerite Limited and MNI Limited. Nigerite, that's the one you're conversant with, is a plant in Lagos at Obakran. Then MNI Limited is a plant in the southeast located at MNI. Next slide. Okay, and Nigerite and MNite all belong to a group known as the ETEX Group. So that's the relationship. ETEX Group is the group that is the cover for Nigeria Limited and MNI Limited. And we operate in 45 countries with over 160 plants, with over 13,500 employees. And we are into manufacture of building materials. Next slide. So I'm going to talk about the products that we have in Nigeria, that we offer in Nigeria. Most of you know about it. Most of you who are conversant with Nigerite already know about the products that we offer. But for some of you who do not know, I need to introduce these products. We also have on offer in our stand some of the new products that we are about introducing into the market. So we have the building boards, which is the Calce board, the Calce ceiling, We have the roofing, the light span, the solar extra. We have also the selling the calci sail, calci craft, and one of the products that we already have in our product portfolio, calci craft in 4x4, but we are now introducing it into the suspended ceiling application. This is something that we've been successful in the Southeast, and we're trying to bring it over here in the Southwest. So we also have the accessories, the fascia board. Next slide. Our product benefits. You know, most times, anytime we're talking to professionals, to homeowners, we keep talking about the product benefits, product benefits. And over the years, like I told you, that we've been over in this country for over 60 years. If those benefits are not real, I don't think people will be coming back to buy our products, to use our product. Please continue with it. Next slide. So, of course, we talk about that the products do not rot or rust, is water resistant. Continue. Is economical and cost effective. It does not burn and do not aid the spread of fire. And the fire engineer was here in the morning. He was talking about that some products have been banned all over the world as being used for cladding purposes. One of the applications that we use our product is for cladding. And I saw him downstairs and I discussed with him. I said, how can you generalize on this? That you would have mentioned a particular product that's been banned instead of just mentioning that for cladding purposes that you don't use, that it has been banned all over the world. I'm here to tell you that our product is still being used for cladding purposes. Our product is fire resistant. Our product does not aid the spread of fire. We have the products downstairs, and I told him I'm going to give you the products and I want you to set fire on it and see whether it's going to catch fire. So they do not release toxic gases in case of fire. They're easy to cut, drill, nail, and install. When they came to our stand, I think we are the only ones that set up our stand using our products here. And we started building yesterday, and we are through with it. So our products are easy to cut, easy to drill, and easy to install. So within 24 hours, we've been able to set up our stand using our products for all the different applications that we have here. It's pest and termite resistant and easy to paint. Of course, we all painted our product. We started painting this morning, and we are through with it. Next slide. And because we moved to an autoclave product, so we have some new features, new benefits, higher dimensional stability, lighter color, smoother finish, less heavy, and of course, impact resistant. Next slide. So I'm going to go to the specification market, which is where the calci board is, the calci ceiling, calci partition, and calci clad. Next slide. So what is the calci board? Calci board is a product that is made from cement, cellulose, silica. Silica, of course, get it from sand, and they are produced and then dried under high temperature and pressure through an autoclave process. We have the different thicknesses, the 6mm, the 8mm, 10 and 12mm, then the 20mm. Next slide. So the different applications that use our products for is lightweight floor, which is where you use the 20mm, the soffits of your building, the ceiling of your building, the wet areas, the roof underlay, the partitions, the semi-exposed ceilings, the cladding planks, and the floor decking. Next slide. So let me talk about the 6mm. The 6mm is actually, of the calci board, is actually used for ceiling applications. You can see the different places where we've used it, live pictures of places where we've used it. And because it does not aid the spread of fire, some filling stations are also using it to finish off their ceiling. And also you can use it for the soffit and the fascia of your structure if you want to still achieve the concrete aesthetic effect you want to use. You understand? Most people use concrete to achieve this, but you can use the calci board using the 6mm or the 8mm to achieve this. And anybody that sees it will believe it's concrete. Next slide. So calci partition, when you think about partition, of course, think about calci partition, about calci board. It's an ideal solution for the most demanding internal wall applications. And these are also some of the live pictures of the places that we've used them. Next slide. Then the calci clad. the one I'm talking about. These are some of the applications that we've used them. You can use the 10 mm and the 12 mm to achieve all this. Last year, during the LAF 14.0, I presented this particular application, the one on the right, white color, and people were asking, how can you achieve a thick board like this? How were you able to bend it to achieve this kind of collinear feature? And I was able to show them the different processes, the way we were able to achieve it. Next slide. So the diffuse market brands are the Solar Extra, the Lightspan, Calcicil, and the Calcicraft. Next slide. So the Lightspan is our lightweight roofing sheet made from fiber cement. It's easy to cut, nail, drill, and install. Next slide. Then the Solar Extra is the same size with the Lightspan, but it has color features, because what we want to achieve to have tile effect on your roof. So it's the same dimension, the same thickness with the Lightspan, but it's just that it has different color patterns on top of it. Next slide. So the Calcicil is a long-lasting ceiling that is available in plain and embossed decorative design. We have different decorative designs, prestige, diamond, crystal, legend, that you can use for your homes. Next slide. Okay, Calcicraft. Calcicraft is a lightweight ceiling sheet comprising of course, different designs, but it has embossed features with different patterns. You have the Calcicraft Flora, Exotic, Cherry, Royal, Unique. And this is the product that I told you that we've been successful with it, using it as a suspended ceiling. So this is look at the suspended ceiling, the places that we use in suspended ceiling, sorry. So if you come to our stand 24 and 25, both 24 and 25, you got to see some of the places where we apply this product. Next slide. Yeah, next one. So these are the different installation techniques that we use for the installation of this, our ceiling, the nail ceiling, the suspended ceiling. But please, I enjoin you to come down to our stand, visit our stand, so that we'll show you all the other applications that we have. Next slide. So thank you very much. So we are at booth 24 and 25 downstairs. We will be there to welcome you. We would love to see you. And please, thank you once again. Thank you once again. Thank you once again for being part of our success story in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nigerite, for your presentation. All right, thank you. For the students that are here, you have been hearing Calci board, Calci board, Calci board. If peradventure you forgot that Calci, just say cement board, okay? In case you forget that Calci, because that Calci is a very touch name. So just say cement board. All right? We are moving in the affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is still LAF, the Lagos Architect Forum 2024, 15.0. And we are talking about Lagos resilience and climate adaptation. At this junction, we have our keynote speakers. Their speakers, they are ready. And before that, I would like to introduce and recognize the chairman of today's session, in person of architect Mrs. Titi Adeleye, FNI. Please a round of applause for her. She is the former vice chairperson, NIA Lagos State Chapter Member of Council. She is the current chairperson, Architect Mentorship Committee, the MD and CEO, Eden Group. Please a round of applause for her. You can do better. You can do better. She is the chairman of today's session. You're welcome, ma'am. Okay.
The pressmen, please, can you suspend your interview? I don't want you to engage any speakers for now. Pressmen, please, I don't want you to engage any speakers for now. Don't disrupt the session, please. Can we have Mr. Desmond Majakodumi, please? It's your turn. Thank you.
Mr. Desmond Majakodumi is an environmental activist and founder, Lufasi Nature Park and Creation Carer. Desmond Majakodumi is an electroacoustic engineer and producer, an on-air personality, and an avowed creation carer who established an agroforestry farm in Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria, 35 years ago, with guidance from the International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, IITA Ibadan. The farm has now been converted with the collaboration of Lagos State Government to Lufasi Nature Park, which has a motto, loving nature. Lufasi regularly hosts schools, university students, and numerous visitors who are introduced to the need for developing a far more harmonious relationship with nature. He's currently involved in several NGOs, including the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, NCF, where he serves on the governing council. They introduced ecology to the national schools curriculum and spearheaded the establishment of a National Environment Protection Agency, which later transformed into the Federal Ministry of Environment and National Parks Authority. He lectures frequently on ecological management and climate change. As an environmental activist, he has led several environment protection rallies in the UK and Nigeria, including Save the Lekki Coast Shoreline Protection, and more recently, the Lagos version of the Global Climate Strike to Alausa. He has received numerous awards, including Silverbird Man of the Year and German government Eco Hero Award. He's currently involved in persuading faith leaders to preach creation care from their pulpits in obedience to scriptural injunctions to replenish the earth as an expression of genuine love for Almighty God, the Creator. Please give a warm welcome and round of applause for Mr. Desmond Majakodumi.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, it's actually a tremendous honor to be here because architecture was one of my great ambitions and desires, especially that the first real hero that I had was my eldest brother, Femi Majakodumi. And I felt, yes, I gotta be like Femi. However, by the time I started trying to deal with geometry and then trigonometry, it even took me a long time to be able to pronounce the word trigonometry. I realized I didn't have that kind of mental capacity for architecture, but we're so happy to have architects in our family. We have Femi's son, Deji, a very renowned architect. My daughter, who is here, Francesca, she just qualified as an architect. In fact, she just did an NYSC in Jos at the military cantonment. And because of her knowledge with all the softwares, they didn't want her to go. They delayed her. I said, look, she's finished now, come back. Yeah, and I have another daughter in the UK who is an internal architect. So yeah, all kudos. I have the utmost regard and respect for people in this profession. Yes, I really. I mean, as if that's not enough, As if that's not enough. A young Nigerian has now become the international head. Oh, no, what? Please, I beg, we're not clapping for him. We're gonna give him 3 bullseye. This is Nigeria. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. You know what I mean, mate? That's a bullseye from Nigeria. Congratulations, so proud of you. And he's an example of the wonderful, wonderful qualities and potentials that this great nation called Nigeria has. Eh? The young people, by the time they get hold of it, they're going to keep moving and moving. I mean, we're already doing it in so many fields, in the music fields now. It's already happening. In the drama, it's already happening. And also in the scientific field, it's happening. Not to mention the chess. Eh? How did that guy get the Guinness Book of Records for playing chess, I think, almost for 2 days, nonstop? Hey, Niger is great. But there won't be much of a Niger left if we allow what is going on to continue. My dear people, I presented a slide presentation. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but let's give it a try. Can we try the first slide and see if it works? Okay, play. You know how many trees were here? 350 trees along this coast, just this area alone. Coconut trees. Giving coconut every time. How many are left? Because of the erosion. And we said, come and do something in time. Anyway, it's not too late. It must be done. It must be done.
I'm living here, let's say more than 15 years now. And the water is very far to the house. I can't even point at where the water was when I came. I can't even point at it now. But gradually, the water is coming closer, until last week, it got worse. So I have to pass window, jump out to the room because there's no frontage to come out again.
22 meters were eroded from between the 14th of April 2018 and the 6th of July 2018. When we did this modeling, as at 25th of August, this red line this is now the ocean. From this red line to this point is the ocean. So with all of these homes you are seeing, all of these houses, these are shanties of people who are living here. We have some humans living there. So all of these parts are all completely gone. So now, based on our projection, the projection of the least distance the sea will have eroded to is, so if you take 128 meters from here to here, by 2026, this is where it will be at. And that is why we're saying that.
Next you know
how many
trees were here? Right. Some of you might have seen that from Arise that was aired about 2 months ago. I know a few people contacted me. They said, why were you so, passionate about this thing? And I said, I had to be passionate because I was at this beachfront at a time when there were thousands of coconut trees, thousands. And we had been advocating for the removal of this is the signal, gentlemen, this is the signal to change. Okay, yeah. This is almost 2 decades ago, trying to create awareness that our beachfront is being eroded. And well, it was very painful. Next. So, all these gone. Next. There you go. So this is the challenge. How resilient can we be given the situation that we're facing now? How resilient can we be? Thank God that the architects are coming together with their wisdom and knowledge and capability of communicating. And I just want to use a few minutes to try to get this across to you guys, because you have such an important role to play. such an important role. As you see, all gone. There you go. Even more. You see the house there? Yeah. Yeah. That house is gone. 150 meters in 5 years. 150 meters in 5 years gone. Wiped out. And there was more than that before. When I first came there was a lot more. As I said, thousands of coconut trees gone. And just in case people are saying, well, okay, that's the Eco-Atlantic because we've heard a lot of things. Somebody even said, it's the sand filling that they're doing at Eco-Atlantic. Yes, in a way, Eco-Atlantic, after saving Victoria Island, did push an existing problem a little bit further down towards the east, which was the mole, the original mole that the British had put to make the port more accessible. And yes, it exacerbated the problem. But the problem is classic symptom of climate change and global warming. Secondary school science, when you add more heat to a source like water, you create more energy. Eco-Atlantic couldn't have gone all the way down to Ondo State. It's a national problem. It's a continental problem. And this is why I'm so excited. I'm so happy that the president hit the nail right on the head. And also our lady chairperson hit the nail right on the head that we need to do something about it. What they're doing in the UK now with this wonderful competition to try to sensitize people about the need to bring solutions to get to zero is very laudable, but is it doable? Can Lagos adapt to climate change? And how? A whole lot of water around Lagos, though. Whole lot of water. If we allow this tipping point to be reached, forget it. And this is where we're going to home in on. Why are we allowing the tipping point to be reached? Yeah. We all know about that. But you know the most worrisome part about that is that the scientists, the meteorological scientists, especially the ones with the United Nations, they told us, I think it was about, 25, 30 years ago that this would happen. But they said it would happen in 40 years. It happened in 30 years. But they warned, the world was warned. And in 2015, everybody got together in Paris. Oh yeah, we're going to sign the accord. Yes, the CO2 is gone up far, far, far too much from 280 ppm to 400 ppm. Oh no, we're going to sign the award. We all signed, Nigeria signed. Guess what? 2023, CO2 level had never ever been so high in human history and even prehistory because they can take the ice samples and analyze. So why has this been allowed to happen? Because we are approaching the edge. Look at that. Could trigger off multiple climate tipping points. Now, 4 of the major tipping points for now are relating to ice caps, relating to water. You know, it's simple science. You have these millions of square kilometers of white ice reflecting the heat. The ice melts a little bit. Oh, guess what? A little bit more heat. Yes, because there's less reflection. More heat, more melt, more heat. We're reaching tipping points. And the question is, why are we being so slow when there's only a window of opportunity. There's a timeline beyond which, if we go, or to quote somebody who's far more knowledgeable than me, point of no return is no longer over the horizon. It is in sight and hurtling towards us. The world is reaching the tipping point beyond which climate change may become irreversible. So proud of Kofi Annan, the first African head of the United Nations, Secretary General. So I want to ask you a question. To get that position, Secretary General of the United Nations, can a fool, can an idiot become Secretary General of United Nations? Okay, let me ask you, Kofi Annan, Namumu, is he a fool? Okay, he's not a fool. Okay, yeah, he certainly isn't. I mean, somebody like me, I'd be lucky to be secretary to the Secretary General, or maybe the secretary to the secretary of the Secretary General. Next. Go back one. Yeah. 20 years ago. Now, if we agree he is not a fool, and Guterres is not a fool, and they have access to all the latest information. Is it the World Meteorological Organization? Is it the space research people? They got all the info. He can pick up the telephone and say, okay, what was the average rainfall in Enugu in 1973? Boom, is there. And they are warning us that we're reaching a tipping point and we're refusing to listen to them. Who then is the fool? Who then is the fool? And this is where I just want to orientate ourselves. I won't take too long with this, but I'm so excited because I'm convinced that this group of people, renowned architects, people who have wonderful intellectual capacity. I mean, just to do your geometry and trigonometry, that's enough for me to know, say, sense they, and amongst you people, though. But you also have that sensitivity to deal with your clients, to deal with the general public, to help to get the message across. Because it is a very dire message indeed. My people, let's get this thing into perspective now. Oh Lord, my people. Here we are in our little earth with our neighbors. Most of the neighbors are bigger than us, aren't they? Oh. And Yuri Gagarin, he was the first person who traveled into space, you know? Yeah. And he had what they call the overview effect. He was one of the first people to actually see the Earth as it really is, And he saw that the borders are invisible, racial, religious, and economic strife, nowhere to be seen. Yeah. Our squabbles, and it's just, it's meaningless. Oh, that's our galaxy. That's our galaxy. That's the Milky Way. Do you know how many planets are in this galaxy alone? Billions of planets. Billions of solar systems. And guess what? This isn't a star. I wasn't pointing. Go back. Yeah, this isn't a star. This is another galaxy. Oh, this is so awesome to me, so awe-inspiring. When I see things like this, I just want to lie down and worship the divine intelligence, the creator who was in the beginning before our beginning began. Because there's billions of galaxies. And then our tiny little speck, Earth, the only one so far, and we've been able to assess quite a few now, that has the capacity to support human life. And we have the audacity. This gentleman, he was on the shuttle, and he saw the unbelievable thinness of our planet's atmosphere. In that moment, he was hit with the sobering realization that that paper-thin layer keeps everything on our planet alive. And what are we doing to the paper-thin layer? Because of our development, because of our desire to have more comfort, which is perfectly understandable. But our development is causing irreparable damage. Here you go again, waging war on nature. It's suicidal. Nature always strikes back, and is already doing so with growing force and fury. Oh, and then this one, very recent at the last COP, on a highway to climate hell with our foot still on the accelerator. So we're inside a downfall, and we know that the bridge has been broken. And the downfall driver, because they don't shark finish, just pressing accelerator. You go agree? Let me hear you say, we no go agree, oh. Are you sure? Our foot still on the accelerator. Whoa, the carbon emissions has never been so high. Oh, yes, and a lot of those emissions are coming from the building industry. And that's why it was so rewarding to see some of the major manufacturers of the building materials testify that they are going carbon neutral, that they're doing green materials. Got to change our course. Got to change. Climate change is the defining issue of our age, the central challenge of our century. How is it possible? How is it possible? How many of you have children? Please, if you have children, say yes, so. If you love your children, let me hear a loud yes, so. Of course. And this is what gives me tremendous hope. This is what gives me tremendous hope. Absolutely. Tremendous hope. Next, please. Next. Audio. Anyway, without the audio, that speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. As a farmer, I've planted cassava for 25 years. I've never harvested cocoyam. Fundamental law. Fundamental. You cannot plant cassava and harvest cocoyam. That's just the reality. My dear people, God is not mocked whatsoever. A man sows, surely shall he reap. And this destructiveness that we're sowing into nature, wiping out species, the amount of species that are gone extinct, the global warming, what it is causing now is so terrible. It is not a good seed to sow, especially if you claim to love your children. What I'm trying to do is just to inspire activists. I see every one of the architects and the people involved here becoming activists for the protection of nature, for the caring of creation. And I believe that we shall succeed. Next, please. We got to break this yoke. Next, please. And bring in this bouquet. Planet, people, profit. Yeah, give it a big round of applause. Planet, people, profit. And this is what I'm sure that you will be able to do. Let's just zip this along because I'm taking too much time. Yeah. We know about all this. Yeah. This is for you guys. Urban areas are responsible for. Hello. Oh, and our president spoke about the heat islands. I'm so glad, it's so touching that he is aware, And as a young person, he knows that his future and the future of his children is very, very much at stake. And I do believe that the right things shall be done. We'll be coming to a close soon. Yes. Okay, it affects everybody, okay? We cope with it. We have to have increasing temperatures, sustainable way, And we can use nature-based cooling solutions. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Increasing temperature in a sustainable way. We can use nature-based solutions for cooling, reducing air temperature. Yes, I love that. Wind flows, greening buildings, facades, and roofs. Beautiful. Whoa. Oh, we can even go back a little bit into our recent history. Wow. Has anybody visited Jekyll House? You've been to Jekyll House, yeah. Amazing. I mean, look at the roof. Wow. And it had veranda all the way around. You know, they hardly needed to use a fan in that place. Yeah. It's in the railway compound, and we've managed to preserve this house as a historical piece. And then, of course, we can go not so far back in history. And I'm sure you're familiar with this building. Yeah, you know. Professor John Godwin. Does anybody know Professor John Godwin? Yeah. He was here way back in those days. Yeah, my dear people, there's hope. There's tremendous hope, because it's you people who are doing the designs. It's you people who are going to influence the builders, influence your clients, that we can no longer go on. We got to put our foot on the brake, get our foot off the accelerator, and stop this destruction of the wonderful, incredible, miraculous life support systems of our planet. And then could have a little bit of green space. And that's the oil palm plantation that we were able to convert into a park. We call it Lufasi Park. It's just on the Aja axis. Next. Yeah, there you go. You see all the, yeah. But we've managed to retain that, which is incredible, because there's some people who are thinking profit. Which one be this, no? This one are real estate. Which one they do there? This one are money. So now the money you go to heaven or go to hell when you create a situation that compromises your very soul because of your love of money, which is the root of all evil. We have held on to it. And we'll continue holding on to it. Yes, this is our green space. Yes. Next. Yeah, that's Lufasi Park. I believe you're coming. There's an invitation for Saturday for Lufasi, but they'll tell you more about it as we go on. Next, please. Yeah. So on a very final note, because I'm going to hand over to, I'm sure there'll be all sorts of experts talking about this, but on a very, very final note, I just want to ask you, my dear people, this is a defining moment in mankind's history. We are the first generation to understand properly the implications of what we have done, especially the way we provide energy for ourselves, a lot of the materials and so on. But we are the last generation that have the capacity to prevent it becoming unstoppable and totally catastrophic. If I take another step, should I take another step? Make a jump? The architects are saying no. Should I take another step? Okay, yes, you are the people who are going to do this. I'm so excited. I'm so happy I was invited here to share a few words with you. And I know now that we're all going to be activists for nature. We're all going to be caring for creation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. God bless you. Hold on. Are you a creation carer? Shop knuckle. Hey!
Please, can we please give 3 busa for Mr. Desmond Manjakodumi? Can we all do that, please? You know, those are the attributes of an activist. Thank you. Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you telling us to design for the climate ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, quickly, I would like to recognize the presence of the past president, the Nigeria Institute of Building, NIOB, Builder Kunle Awobodu, FNIOB, is also the pioneer president, Building Collapse for Prevention Guild, BCPG. Please, just a round of applause for Builder Kunle Awobodu, FNIOB. Thank you so much for coming, sir. We really appreciate you. Also, I want to recognize the presence of Akintoye Adeoye, the President, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Akintoye. Thank you so much. Also, I want to recognize the presence of the Vice President, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Kunle Adeyemi. Thank you so much. We've had our first speaker. Please, if you have any questions, I would like you all to jot them down. Where you can ask those questions and interact with the speakers. Quickly, before we bring up the second speaker, I have a product presentation by Saint Gobain. Saint Gobain, are you here? Are you ready? Please, a round of applause for Saint Gobain as they come up for their product presentation. A round of applause. Thank you. We mustn't be tired. We are all activists. Activists don't get tired.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to see you all. Great architects. I'm from Saint Gobain, and we are into the production of light and sustainable construction materials. And I will love to show you a short video. Please, can you help me to play the video?
Bienvenue devant cette tour extraordinaire. Cette tour, c'est pas seulement le siège du groupe, c'est toute la tour qui est un showroom avec nos 80 solutions durables et performantes. Ce sont des solutions pour le neuf et pour la rénovation. Chaque bâtiment doit répondre à un projet de vie tout en préservant l'environnement. C'est fondamental et ce sont ces réflexions qui guident les actions de Saint-Gobain aujourd'hui et demain.
Hoje está em alta aqui, né, no Brasil, a inovação dos sistemas leves, da fundação, desde da impermeabilização até o telhado da obra. Nosso trabalho, né, da Saint-Gobain, é justamente mostrar para esses construtores os benefícios que eles podem ter utilizando os nossos produtos. Com a união, então, todo mundo começou a falar a mesma língua, né? Então, o cliente, ele conversa com uma pessoa apenas. Isso é bastante orgulhoso de passar, por exemplo, na frente de um prédio e ver que ali utilizou-se produtos que está gerando coisas boas, né, para quem está morando ali.
Kimya aslında birçok şeyin temel noktası. Yaptığımız yüksek performanslı, çevre dostu, kullanıcı dostu kimyasal katkı malzemelerimiz var. Bunlarla betonun performansını arttırmaya çalışıyoruz. Betonun performansını arttırırken de aslında betonda kullanılan su ihtiyacını azaltıyoruz. Veya katkıda bulunduğumuz projelerin uzun süre yaşamasını istiyoruz, hedefliyoruz. Yeni belki yapıları yapıyor olmak bence bizler için çok güzel. Bu sorumluluğu taşımak da hoşuma gidiyor. Bunun içerisinde olmayı da seviyorum.
Den här modellen var vi helt först med, men kunderna kan komma in när som helst under hela året, hela dygnet. De går in med en app och de handlar själva. Den här typen av obemannade butiker gör att vi kan öppna upp på fler ställen där vi kommer närmare kund.
Digitalisering är så mycket mer än bara en bra e-shop. Så har vi massor av värdefull data. Data som vi kan analysera för att förbättra våra rutiner och processer, likväl som hela tiden kunna utveckla vårt kunderbjudande.
Open innovation is really it's a great topic for us at Saint-Gobain. We practice that with architects, with installers, with customers, with homeowners. We want to find partners that have the same mindset, the same values. If I take the example of Hyperframe, it's a mixed reality wall framing solution that enables extreme productivity. So we're talking about 10 times faster job installation, while also minimizing waste. What we want to solve is this sustainability challenge, listening to every different voices. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, you know.
Qui per TGV Avele Horizon noi sviluppiamo il parabrezza, il faro destro e sinistro e stop light.
Yes, thank you. I understand that most part in this video is not in English, yeah, but we have the subtitle below it. But we at Saint-Gobain, we've existed for over 350 years, and our vision is to provide solution using the light and sustainable construction materials, and we serve all construction, all sectors. We serve the health sectors, the education sectors, and our focus is to stress on comfort and also without jeopardizing the quality of what we need to achieve in terms of using our materials. So we have our brand. Can you just present the slide, the presentation? Yeah, next slide. Next slide. Yes, we the education sector, the health sector, corporate, hotels, theater, cinemas, and independent homes. So we serve all of these sectors. We ensure using our materials, we help you to achieve your goal in terms of controlling the sound, in terms of controlling the thermal and acoustic factors. This using our materials, we help you to achieve this. And next slide, please. So we focus on comfort and performance. We understand your comfort is very, very important. And at the same time, performance is also very, very important. So we have our brand, we have our Weber brand that focus on mortars. Next slide, please. We have our Weber, we have our Chryso, we have our Gyprock. The Gyprock focus on plasterboard. Our Weber focuses on mortars. Our Chryso focus on addictive materials. For instance, we have the admixtures. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, the Gyprock, lightweight building material for all interior linings and exterior application. That's where we have our plasterboard, and you can see what you can achieve. This is Easover. You can see the glass wool, focusing on acoustic and also thermal insulation. Next slide, please. Our Ecophone, focusing on soundproof, focusing on acoustic. Next slide, please. Weber, we have this focusing on the mortars. So we provide solution across all sectors, education sectors, health sectors, cinemas, theaters, any. We understand what you need. You understand that you need your comfort. We understand you want to achieve. Also, you want to have good performance. And we in Saint-Gobain, we can give you this. And we have our booth also there. You can come to us. We'll be very happy to have you and tell you all you need to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Saint-Gobain, for that presentation. We'll have the chairman of session say a few words before we move over to the next speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Desmond Najakudmi, for that insightful paper I mean, that build-up was really quite intense. And we're going to take comments. We're going to take questions. So please get ready, sir. I'm sure a lot of questions are going to come from that session. And then without further delay, we'd like to welcome our second speaker for this session. Please make welcome Mr. Danjuma Nwaniku. Please read his profile.
All right, it is still the Lagos Architects Forum. Mr. Danjuma Nwaniku is someone who's very dear to the Lagos State chapter. The first time we met him was at the first Kaduna Architects Forum, where he met our chairman, and we extended an invitation to him, which he has honored. We appreciate you, sir. Mr. Danjuma Nwaniku is an accomplished sustainability consultant, project manager, and cost consultant with over 30 years of experience in the construction and environmental sectors. A fellow of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors and a chartered environmentalist, he holds a master's in sustainability and environmental management from Staffordshire University, along with several advanced certifications, including Green Star SA Accredited Professional and True Advisor. Since 1996, Danjuma has led Q Associates, a cost and green building consultancy firm he founded, spearheading high-impact projects like the National Assembly Service Commission Office Complex and the National Information Technology Center, both located in the heart of Abuja. His leadership extends to his role as president of Green Building Council Nigeria, positioning him as a key figure in Nigeria's journey towards sustainable urban development and green building. Danjuma is committed to driving sustainability and innovation in the built environment and has contributed to scholarly discussions through publications and presentations at major conferences. His forward-thinking approach continues to shape the future of green building and sustainable urbanism in Africa. Please welcome Mr. Danjuma Nwaniku.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Can you put up my presentation? I want to thank the NIA Lagos chapter for inviting me here. I think it's normal to say I stand on all existing protocols, so I need to get that out of the way. Let me also say that I'm not a very good public speaker, so please, apologies if my delivery is less than fluent. And I hope I can somehow model through. Problem with the presentation. There's something wrong with your system. It's not showing. There should be an image with that slide. Anyway, let me acknowledge those that have spoken before me, and they've spoken quite eloquently about the need for climate adaptation and resilience in Lagos. Ideally, they've said everything that I really needed to say, and maybe I shouldn't have, I should just say hi and step down. But since I've been allotted the time, let me make use of it. I'll be talking, my presentation is, of course, building a resilient Lagos, integrating climate resilience, integrating green building principles into climate adaptation strategies in the city. Next slide, please. So I'm sure we remember this statement from Antonio Guterres last year. Was it last year he said it? Yes, last year. I love this guy. He can be very unfiltered in what he says. It's something I had to teach my son. Honestly, he was a bit like that. He says what he thinks and he thinks what he says, but I had to tell him, look, you can't just say everything that pops into your mind. There are some things you think and there are some things you say. I like Antonio Guterres because he's very blunt and direct. Last year, he told us that we're in the age or the era of global boiling. It's no longer heating. You know, it was warming before. It became heating, and now it's boiling. It's not in doubt. We heard from our uncle, Desmond. There's no argument about it. A couple of years ago, a couple of decades ago, there was a bit of contestation. People said, no, it's natural. No, we're not responsible. But now I think the consensus, even the naysayers have come to agree that, look, this thing is happening, and we are the cause. You can see that temperatures have been rising. They've tracked it over the last 50, 60, up to 100 years. And it's clear that the temperature has been rising. And it is clear that the spike happened at the onset of the Industrial Revolution when we first started to burn fossil fuels. So the issue that, is it us, is it not us, no longer in doubt. Of course, the extra heat is causing the climate to change. Let me just pause here. I hope I have 30 minutes, right? I hope I can make it in 30 minutes. Let me just pause here quickly to say that one thing my uncle didn't say, maybe because of time, is that 90% of this extra heat is actually being absorbed by our oceans. That is why they're acting kind of like shock absorbers. So we haven't really even felt the full impact of the excess heat that is the global warming yet. But the point will come, when you continue to abuse your shock absorbers, you drive through rough spots anytime, one day then go spoil now. A point will come when these oceans can no longer absorb this excess heat, and only God knows what's going to happen then. And so we're only at 1.2 degrees now, and you can see what's happening. What do you think is going to happen when we're at plus 1.5 or at 2 degrees? And let me even share another important insight. Sorry, this is supposed to be a very technical presentation, but you got me a bit worked up. Let me share something that we also need to keep in mind. Look, the climate system has massive inertia. It's a huge system. What do I mean? We have not, even if we stop emitting CO2 today, if we go to zero, the planet is actually going to continue to warm for the next few decades. What they're really telling us is that, look, stop, it will continue to go up. But we are hoping that because we have stopped, it will reach a point there and then start coming down again. You understand? So 1.5 may not even be the pinnacle. It may surpass that, but they are hoping that if we get our emissions under control, it will pass that and come down. Next slide, please. Unfortunately for us, Africa, we are at greater risk. I don't know, sometimes Africa, a blessed continent, unfortunate location, despite the fact that we contribute just 4% of the emissions. Under the 1.5 degrees scenario, temperatures are going to rise here. See, the 1.5 is also important to note, it's an average, okay? It's not that it's going to be 1.5 degrees everywhere. Some will be hotter, some will be cooler. For us, 1.5 degrees means it's going to be 2 to 3 degrees hotter in Africa. Climate impacts will be exacerbated. And because of our low adaptive capacity, we're going to feel it worse. So there is urgent need for proactive adaptation and resilience strategies, especially for places like Lagos, coastal cities with high exposure. Let me also just pause here a bit. If you get a weather forecast, what we are talking about is if the weather says there's 90% chance of rain this evening, you don't wait till it starts raining to go looking for an umbrella, okay? That's what we're talking about today. 90% chance of global warming. So buy your umbrella today. Next slide, please. This is just to amplify what I said about our level of exposure. This is the Notre Dame Global Adaptation Index. It maps a country's vulnerability to climate change, risks, and its readiness to adapt. You can see from the color of the map that Africa, we are mostly red and bright orange. Nigeria, if you look at it, the website is there if you can find it or just search for it. Nigeria, we're actually 154. out of 185. Next slide, please. So what are we talking about? What is resilience? Click down, please. This is a definition from the Resilient Cities Network. Urban resilience is the capacity of a city's systems, businesses, institutions, blah, 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 to what I want to emphasize is to survive, adapt, and thrive. Click again. This speaks specifically to the built environment. Buildings need to be planned, designed, built, and operated in a way that anticipates, prepares for, and adapts to the changing climate, okay? We need to be ready for it. And we need to have buildings that in that midst of that readiness, we can survive and even thrive. Next slide. So what can we expect? I don't think I need to spend too much time on this. These have been mentioned. Of course, flooding, the impacts of more frequent and unpredictable extreme rainfall events. You can see this is from 2017, I believe. You can see all the trash and the unfortunate car. Next slide, please. This you may want to pay attention to if you live in any of these areas. This is a mapping from climate modeling of areas that are likely to be underwater by 2100 under a 2-degree global warming scenario. So please take note and don't buy land here. Next slide, please. We've also talked about the urban heat island effect. It's going to be compounded, and the impact is amplified by our dense population here. We are already feeling it. Related impact to that is as it gets warmer, it's not just the heat, there is greater potential for the formation of ground level ozone and smog and other gases and fumes that can affect people's health, other pollutants, creating added health risk. Next slide, please. So I thought I should pause here to talk about a bit about Lagos and acknowledge that Lagos is actually a climate leader. Perhaps not in the same vein as the UK or Europe, but in our own little corner in Africa, and even in much of the global South, I see that Lagos has actually taken a leadership role in taking proactive actions against climate change to get the city ready. There have been governance and institutional reforms. We all know about the Lagos Resilience Office and the OCCCE recently established. These are demonstrations of commitment and seriousness. See, it's easy for politicians to stand up at conferences and talk and say, oh, woe is me. The planet is warming, our people are in danger. What do we do? But what follows that? Are there tangible actions? Are there actual changes to regulations, to policies that are made? This is what impresses me about Lagos. In addition to this, if just setting up the office, sometimes it's not enough. You can set up an office and give no power to it. But these have been backed up by policy and regulatory changes at all levels. We have the Lagos Resilience Strategy, the Climate Action Plan has been mentioned. There have been urban planning reforms. The city is developing a new building code. I'm trying to think if there's actually any other city in Nigeria that has a building code. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Perhaps there is, I may be wrong, but I think Lagos is also a trailblazer in that. And it's not just developing a new building code, but a building code that is green. Okay, there have been infrastructure, environmental management initiatives, and the state has been establishing collaborations and partnerships to acquire knowledge, acquire expertise to address this problem. Next slide, please. So, what do we need to do? In the midst of all that Lagos has done, and we have acknowledged it's done great, it's doing great, I still think more needs to be done. I think there should be a scaling up of green building and sustainable urban initiatives across the city. These need to be integrated into Lagos State's policies to accelerate the transition to a more climate resilient city. Green buildings, we've heard, I don't want to talk too much about that. They can withstand floods, combat heat waves, manage storm water. They are better adapted to and more resilient to climate impacts. Green buildings, if we scale them across the cityscape, and we integrate them with sustainable urbanism, it will drive the resilience of the larger urban fabric. So proactive transition to a greener built environment will safeguard Lagos's environmental and social well-being. It will ensure that the city remains vibrant and resilient in the face of inevitable climate shifts. Next slide. So I'll quickly run through the next, please let me know when I have just 10 minutes left. Oh, 7, wahala. What do we do? Okay, I'll run through 7 minutes. You guys are a bit stingy with time, or these are serious topics, but I'll do the best I can. So what is green building? Next slide, I don't think I need to tell you. Green building, an intentional design approach. 2 things you need to take away is that green buildings save resources and they prevent harm. Every other definition encompasses these 2 thoughts. Saves resources, energy, water, materials, prevents harm to human beings, to flora, to fauna. Okay, a few solutions back. I won't spend too much time on these because we've talked about them. Durable construction materials. Next slide. Green roofs, walls, landscapes. We've talked a bit about that. Water efficiency technologies. Rainwater harvesting systems, very important in a water-stressed city like Lagos. On-site renewable energy, next slide. Smart building technologies, next slide. And then sustainable urbanism, which is the other side of the equation. Of course, designing and planning urban areas to create cities and communities that minimize their ecological footprint, reduce pollution, waste, conserve resources, and prioritize the well-being of residents. Next slide. Next slide, please. So some of the strategies, permeable pavements. I love what they're doing with their new roads in Lagos. I'm not talking about the concrete roads, so that is going to be a problem that they have not realized. I'm talking about the interlocking pavements. This is what you need in Lagos. Enhanced draining systems like this, SUDS. Cool pavements, move away from the black, hot asphalt. Green and blue infrastructure, we need more of that. And then constructed wetlands. Thank you so much, Uncle Desmond. And of course, Lagos is also one of the pioneers in Nigeria in this area, sustainable transport systems. So moving on, what do we need to do? Click down. We need to embed sustainability into the urban DNA, okay? If we want to transition to a greener built environment. How can we do this? There are 3 things we want to talk about here. 1, accelerate introduction and strengthen enforcement of your green building code. I wonder why it's taking so long to get that code up and running, really. But well, thank God it's in the mind of the government, but I think they should accelerate the rollout. A second thing I think they need to do, if there are any government representatives here, is given the urgency and seriousness of the issue. I don't know what the scope is, but if it's anything like the BEEC, that's the one developed by at the federal level, it's limited in scope to residential buildings above a certain size and to commercial buildings. So I think given the severity and seriousness of what we're facing, government may need to think of expanding the scope of application of the Green Building Code and also to incorporate retrofits into it. You also need to green your urban planning regulations and strengthen enforcement, integrate green building requirements into public housing and municipal projects. This is very important because of the power of government to signal to the rest, to the corporates, especially the corporate sector, the direction it's going and where it needs everybody else to go. If government is doing this, the example I give really is, I do a lot of public sector projects and some private sector projects. Those of you who work in the public sector, you'll be familiar with the requirements of the Public Procurement Act, all the long documents they ask for. That is an example of government signaling. When government began to do that, you find that after some time, not very long, private corporations began to integrate similar requirements in their procurement documentation. Say, hey, if you want to bid for our jobs, you have to do A, B, C. So this is the power of government to signal and to move the rest of the economy, the rest of society, not by even making laws, but simply by doing something. So integrate green building requirements into public housing and municipal projects, expand awareness and capacity, scale up public awareness on the benefits, facilitate upskilling, very important. We lack the capacity to deliver what we're talking about. Thank God for what we're doing here today. But what we're doing here is talk really. We need the skills, we need the knowledge and understanding. So the state needs to facilitate upskilling, trainings, and so on, develop incentives and partnerships, provide incentives, tax breaks, expedited approvals, financial subsidies, offer grants for retrofitting existing buildings with green technologies, expand partnerships for technical support and validation. Next slide. 1 minute. Okay. Anyway, I'm done. But this one you'll like now. This is about you. So architecture and resilient Lagos. Click down, please. So architecture, why I believe we're here is because the profession is well positioned to leverage its skills and influence to prepare Lagos for climate change. Click. How can you do that? Provide design leadership. Leverage your position as the client's first port of call to introduce sustainability into your design from the outset. Use innovative design to address, there are barriers, I didn't talk about that, but you can develop and use innovative design strategies to address these barriers. Bridge the awareness and expertise gap. Act as educators and leaders. Partner with organizations like Green Building Council Nigeria, and collaborate with educational institutions to integrate sustainability into architectural trainings. Click. Drive regulatory change. Use your influence to advocate for stronger green initiatives and lead advocacy for policy incentives that will accelerate or catalyze green building. Next slide. I think I'll just stop here. Click. Click, click. Final thoughts. So despite its exemplary leadership in advancing sustainability, Lagos remains at risk from climate change impacts. Click. Scaling up green building and sustainable urbanism and integrating them into the city's resilience and adaptation frameworks is crucial to bolstering climate resilience. Challenges such as high upfront costs, awareness gaps, and regulatory gaps hinder widespread adoption. Architects can play a pivotal role in addressing these barriers and promoting green building and urban sustainability in Lagos. Strategic engagement by the architectural profession in collaboration with other stakeholders can propel Lagos towards a sustainable urban future. Next slide. I'm done. So these are just some resources. If you want to learn a bit more about climate adapted design, climate resilient design, these are just a few resources that I thought I should put up here. This is about our event next in 2 months, but they are looking at me, so I won't talk about it. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Danjuma Waniko. For somebody who said he's not good at public speaking, I think he did a good job. Let's put our hands together for him again. That was an insightful presentation, and it was just wrote on the back of the first presentation we had. And so now we are going to be going into the panel session, and I'd like to invite Mr. Desmond Majekodunmi, if he's still here, to please come up. Okay, I think he stepped out. So while we're expecting him back, Ms. Danjuma Waniko would attend to the questions and the comments that we may have. But I'd just like to briefly summarize, that was very graphic, and it was a wake-up call for all of us. We're still talking about Lagos rest and climate adaptation. And Mr. Desmond Majekodunmi, he started off by telling us that the earth, starting from our coastlines, are being destroyed by erosion and a lot of other things. He told us that 150 meters depth has been destroyed in 5 years. He said 2023 was the hottest year ever, and carbon emission was also at its highest. He informed us that climate change is not only now a national epidemic, it's also continental. And he said very profoundly that we are at a tipping point. And in answer to the question, can Lagos be saved? Indeed, can our continent be saved? He proffered a solution that was based on planet, people, and profits. He did say that we, designers, architects that are in charge of designing the built environment, have a big part, a big role to play. And that we are the biggest culprits. And that he now proffered a few solutions: tropical architecture, greenery, green parks, shading devices, and so on. And on the back of this, we had Mr. Danjuma Waniko, who informed us that we are in a climate crisis, and global warming is now global boiling, according to the UN Secretary General. It was interesting to know that oceans above 70% of the heat, and that we are actually on an overdrive, regarding CO2 emission, that even if it comes to zero today, that is actually going to go on for some time. That was quite alarming. And that by location, Africa takes the brunt of the infection via the Lagos Climate Action Plan. He said it is a step in the right direction, and that he wants to see more action, less talk. And with that, we are going to go into the panel session proper. So if you have any questions or any comments, please, yes, sir. So, okay, we'll kick off with Architect Chris Loco, the National PRO. Please put your hands together for him. Can you please also help us to check online if there are any comments online? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The president of the NIA, the president of RIBA, the chairman of the NIA Lagos State chapter. I will leave the protocol there. I think I just want to speak to the theme of today's discussion. Of all the themes you may hear from the body of architects, this is at the top of our immediate need. And I just want to hammer the nail in the head further. How many of you can say in the next 1,000 years what Lagos will become? Can anybody help us to predict what Lagos you think Lagos will be in the next 1,000 years? 1,000 years. Can you make a prediction? Okay, I'll ask another question. If a historian were to come to Lagos 1,000 years from now and use the architecture of Lagos to write about the people of Lagos, do you think what he will write will be complimentary You all know that everything you are doing today, you are documenting history. We know today about what happened in other cultures because of the architecture that was put there. I'm sure you all know that. Okay, let me tell you just a short story about Greece. Greece used to be a country of warriors. Athens and Sparta, they were always fighting each other. And then all of a sudden came a leader called Pericles. Must have heard of him. He is today ranked as one of their greatest leaders, but he was never interested in war. From the very beginning, he got all the workers, the hard workers, the intellectuals, and people who knew what to do about everything, and worked with them to build his republic. And it is that leader that built the architecture that we know today about Greek architecture. Up to this day, that Greek architecture is still what most countries of the world use as symbols of architecture. If you go to America, the White House, most of those architecture are taken from Greece, what somebody did over 3,000 years ago. Now, how many of you can tell me if a historian were to write about the architecture we are doing today, what it will say about Lagos? So the moral of my comment is simple, that if you want to survive, if you want to change the narrative, don't think of what you will eat today. Think of tomorrow. If you are building, build for the next 1,000 years. Think about what people will think of what you are building 1,000 years from now. If Egyptian leaders built houses that today has turned Egypt into a tourist center and people are feeding on those buildings, what are we doing today in Nigeria? So this is a very important topic, and we need to know that resilience means not just survival of those of us who are here today, but survival of generations coming behind us, and even survival of the culture we are creating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's put our hands together for Architect Chris Local and National PRO. He asked the question that what would Lagos be like in 1,000 years? But I want us to cast our mind back to and do a bit of calculation. If we are losing 150 meters in 5 years, so how many meters would we have lost in 1,000 years? We all need to go back to the drawing board. If we love ourselves and the coming generation, we have to. Next, maybe 2 more comments or 2 more questions before we wrap up. Question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your lecture. Have you considered the impact of the
Please introduce yourself.
sorry, my name is Architect Theo Lawson. Have you considered the impact of the new coastal highway on the so-called erosion of the land right now? Would the coastal highway have any impact on keeping the land in place? Perhaps.
Okay. Honestly, I'm not familiar with the technical details of that project, and I want to hope that in designing such a project that they would have integrated shoreline or coastal protection in it, so that the highway doesn't end up, because it's very likely that long stretches of that highway may eventually fall below sea level. So, but to be honest with you, I don't know if there are any engineers in the room or anybody who has technical knowledge of the project design. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. My name is Goki Omigodro. Mine is a very simple question. And perhaps it stems from the assignment that the NIA gave me to check that money is balanced. As it goes out, it comes in. And then when you are talking about the rate of erosion and the rates at which water is overtaking Lagos and taking a lot of the grants. Then it occurred to me, but we also do a lot of reclamation and sand filling and all that. Can you do some trigonometry and geometry and explain to us what is the net rate of either gain or loss of solid ground? That's a simple question.
Tom, this architects are a very tough audience. Short answer is, I can't tell you now. I can go back home and get the answer for you. The actual answer on the actual volume of land that is being lost and what is being gained in acreage terms or volume terms, I can't tell you. What I can talk to is the map that I was shown during my presentation, which shows what parts of Lagos will be underwater in the next 75 years. So it's land reclamation it's not really enough because you are pouring sand into the ocean, and as Desmond Majekotumi explained to you, is that when you do that, you are really, well, one, if you just pour the sand and you don't protect it, the ocean will eventually come and pull that sand away. But if you protect it adequately, you're pushing the problem somewhere else. So it doesn't, so if you add land here, you're displacing water because you understand the physics of it. You add a solid into water or into a liquid, there is displacement. So you displace some water to another location, and that water has an equivalent effect in that location. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let me just add to that. I mean, we can just look at a very simple scenario of maybe you have a bowl of water and then you are putting something solid, the earth inside it. Of course, the water would spill over. And of course, I think that speaks to what Mr. Waniko said about government policies. We need to have statistics. We need to keep records. I stand to be corrected, but I think it is Denmark, a city that is meant to be underwater. Every day, the water level is measured. Every day, the wave lines, there are times when you're going on Third Mainland Bridge and you see the water is so high, and at other times, it's so low. Nobody is taking records of all those things, and they matter in the long run. So our government needs to sit up, and as individuals, what can we do? There are houses where, I've been to a house where the DPC that was initially at ground level had sunk like a meter below ground level. You see houses that are tipping, because of erosion and changes in water level. As individuals, as architects, what can we do? Recently, Lagos State banned this styrofoam food parks. And it's because if you go to our coastal waters, those things don't degenerate for maybe 1,000 years. So we need to educate ourselves. We need to know that we've been told that chewing gum, hair attachments, styrofoam packs don't degenerate for thousands of years. They are polluting our waters, they are polluting our fishes, and they are, causing blockages in our drainages. Each one of us, every one of us, government, individuals, we have to arise and do something. Thank you. So any more questions, any more comments before we wrap up this panel session? The rapporteurs should please check if we have any comments online. Are there students here? You don't have questions? Are there students here? I would like to take a question from one of our young ones, because we're actually protecting this climate and this earth for your generation. A lot of us here maybe have maximum 60 more years to go. So we'd like to take questions from the young ones. And I think they are seated. Yes, we have. Please come forward and introduce yourself. Let's encourage her. Let's put our hands together for her.
My name is Okubadi Jokulo. I'm from Anchor University, Iowa. The speaker mentioned something about the green buildings, But how do we change the mindset of our clients, the end users, on using these green buildings? Because now everyone is so into what the buildings we have now, the roads we do now. So how do we change their mindset?
Thank you very much. Okpeoluwa.
Boluaga.
Okpeoluwa, Boluwa. So what she's saying is that, so our clients want the glass and steel and the high rises, buildings that are powered 24/7 by air conditioners. And then you come there, I mean, maybe you've not gotten a job as an architect in a long while, and a client comes and he says he wants this. How can you sell some other solutions to your clients? How can you sell solutions that are not as that are not in vogue, that are not fad to clients, but are more earth friendly or climate friendly to your clients? Sir.
Okay, thank you. That's a great question. This is one of the main barriers to green building, especially in countries like Nigeria. It's something that I talk about a lot whenever we're in front of international audiences, talking with our partners and collaborators from the global north, because they don't, sometimes they don't understand that it's not just about, yes, it's good to be good. Okay, and everybody likes to be good. I like to be good. I don't want to be a bad person. Okay, but bottom line is, within that, my desire to be good, how much does it cost me? Can I afford it? So what I tell people is, if you want to talk to a client, the best place to start is always lead with the economic case. When you're talking sustainability and green building in Africa and the developing world, lead with the economic case. Always start with the economic argument. Don't start very high and start saying, you need to be responsible, you're hurting the environment. You smile and nod and say, yes, I know, but man must chop. So economic argument. I'll give a very quick example. A project I was working on, a hostel project, it's about 4 stories high. So obviously, you know that unless you're flying over in a helicopter or very far away, you're not likely to see the roof, okay? So, and you know that a reflective roof is better, passive cooling wise, than these dark colored roofs that we put. So I put the case, not that is good for passive cooling, no, but since it's a hostel project and for a university that is starting, I started with, look, why don't we use a plain roof? It is cheaper and nobody is going to see it, okay? When everybody started getting on board the idea, I now said, and by the way, when you have that, the hostel rooms will be much cooler. So lead with the economic case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, and let me just add to that, yes, while you're talking to your clients, and that speaks to the fact that as architects, the bulk of the work is in advocacy, educating our clientele. And while you're talking to your clients, you must let them know that the cost gains, the financial gains are going to be in the long run. There might be an initial capital outlay that is a bit high, but then with this band A and band B and band C that we are seeing now, buildings that are more efficient, climate efficient, are cheaper in the long run, meaning that they may have an initial large capital outlay. When your clients say, oh, this sun shading devices, they are concrete, and they are adding maybe 50 million to the cost of the project, then you have to explain to him or her that over time, you are going to save much more in cooling costs. And, we also see cases, the park that was shown by Mr. Majekodumi is very beautiful, but then we see cases where, all these parks are earmarked as green areas and they are converted, we all know, to other uses, estates, fuel stations in the long run. So our government has to do a lot, and we architects too, we have to have a voice in that direction. And that brings us to the next question. And this question is from Architect Hassan. Architect Hassan is asking, what paper is NIA putting forward to government to prevent the rate of development that encroaches into many of our green areas? Any policies in place? Can I call on our president, Madam President, to answer that? And I'd like to also respectfully call on Architect Mrs. Alamutsu to please speak to that as well after Madam President.
Thank you very much. Well, as you know, the NIA is basically an advocacy group. And for anything that's going to hurt the built environment, the nation, the environment, we should be at the forefront. And so we've been playing our part locally. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. In Ibadan, where I live, the park, a very big park, the Agodi Gardens, was going to be encroached on by the government, or is being encroached on by the government. And we just suddenly woke up to see that it was being cleared for estates and all that. And so members of my chapter got together and we went there to protest. We joined some groups of other people, conservationists, and we went there to protest the government and everything. We wrote to the government a strong letter. Needless to say that we were stopped. In fact, members of my chapter, their cars were seized, they were harassed. But you know, it didn't stop us from putting up a paper presenting it to the government. But we'd like to take a challenge from the question that's globally now on the national front. What can we do? And we're going to take it up. I have a special committee that is set up for that, to look into that. And we'll be looking into how we're going to enforce, or rather speak up so much more, so that government begins to realize. Because the question the young student asked also about how the clients, how do you convince your clients? Governments even have a big role to play in this. If there are policies in place that encourage green buildings, enforce them to some extent, you will see people, you know, towing that line. Remember the time when government said it was only Peugeot 504? That was what everybody was using. So if they say, you know, this is how to build now, or begin to celebrate green buildings, of course, then we see people beginning to see, oh, okay, there's something in this after all. So we're going to be working in collaboration with government, both at local, both at federal, to ensure that we get this done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Very, very well said, Madam President. I mean, I remember when there was this odd and even number thing in Lagos, and, you know, people were carpooling, you know, just to, I mean, prevent overpopulation and pollution in the atmosphere. Please, let's make welcome Architect Mrs. Dada Alamutsu.
Good afternoon, everyone. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. The President's NIA has addressed a large portion of what we can do, but I would just like to add, you can do much more if you yourself have sufficient knowledge. That is, you need to learn, you need to understand what green buildings are about. We need to see the impact of the climate change. We can feel it right now, but what impact is it having? I was just discussing with Architect Adeoti that living on the island, I've seen over the years, when I was doing my MSc thesis, I did National Aquarium. The site that I used was behind Eco Hotel. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And a few years back, many of us still remember architect Godwin Upwood. He wrote a book, Sandbank City. I did the review of that book. If you see the cover page, you will see the island behind Eco Hotel. A long stretch, beautiful picture as the cover page. As at the time we were presenting the book, that island was gone. In 2014, there was a major storm. that just carried that island away and is no longer there. So first is to be informed. We need to learn more of what's going on around our environment, because that's where we work. We don't build in the air, we build on land. Two, like she has said, we need to get involved. A lot of planning, permission, and all of that is outside our scope. And I believe we need to break that barrier. Yes, it's left to the planners, but we are the architects. We are the ones to build. We need to get engaged with them and to help them understand that it's not a question of, 10 meters right of way. We looked at the demolition that is going on. Beautiful homes, they were done by architects. And then we are now being told by Lagos State that it was a canal. People went and filled it and they are building. So we may think it's just government, but I think we as individuals, we have a role to play. And good governance doesn't stop at transparency or accountability. It's entrenched in the citizen participating in what affects us. And being architects, we have a responsibility to help other people who don't know. They've mentioned when a client comes to you, they've mentioned advocacy, but I think the other problem is, am I living by example? I can do all the wonderful talk, but what kind of projects am I signing to? What am I allowing? What am I doing myself in the kind of buildings that I sort of put on for clients? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much. And you know, a lot of us don't know the power we have as citizens of this country. Do you know that if a building is being put up in your neighborhood that is blocking probably the stormways or the drainage, you have a right to gather signatures, you know, and protest and stop that building from being built. I don't know the number of signatures now, but once you have that, you can take it to whoever is representing you, your senator, your legislator, and that would stop the building from being put up. And then speaking to papers that NI is putting forward to government to prevent these kinds of things, let's look at LAF. We've had a lot of wonderful topics, themes over the years. Do we put this together? Do our rapporteurs put this together and present to government? We may say they're not going to do anything, but then let's just keep submitting the synopses, the summaries of our deliberations at LAF, at ArchiBuild, at our AGMs, at our BGMs, and one day, somebody that is sensitive to the plight of the people, that is knowledgeable, will come into power and they would address all the issues that were raised therein. I mean, this theme is so apt and so timely and so needed that the deliberations at this conference should not just be shoved aside. It should be put together and submitted to the relevant advocacy arms. So we'll take a last word from our resource person, Mr. Waniko, and then if there are no more questions, we'll wrap up this session. Do we have a question? Okay, please go ahead, sir. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
Architect Emmanuel Onobigos, MNI. Madam President, good afternoon. I start on existing protocols. Yeah, we'll be talking about erosion of our landmass and heating up of our atmosphere. But as an architect, maybe it's a stupid question, but let me ask this anyway. I looks a bit confused. As a young architect, I'm from Delta State. We're asked to design hospital in a water body in the ocean. What did we do? We went to the then ATMP in Sapele. We said, what can we do? We want to build hospital in the ocean, in the water body. ATMP gave us species of wood that can stay in the water for 50 years. And we did the hospital in the middle of the water. And it could be accessed with boats and other vehicles you can use in traveling through the water. And the river areas were happy. I think that it should be standing, though at that time I was a young architect. Now, I think this discussion about climate change is not deep enough. I think we have to collaborate with engineers. Architecture, I was told in my early years in School of Architecture that it's about function, aesthetics, and the use of materials. So if there's going to be a climate change, a warm in temperature of the atmosphere, and we talk about green architecture, it has a solution, I think we should go further. Let's discuss and see, okay, architects, this is what we will do. Because of this erosion, our coastal road has been eroded 150 meters in 5 years. This is kind of material you will use to build to stop that erosion. Maybe falling waters did that. Maybe that water body that they put falling waters actually stopped the movement of that cliff. So I think with that is the comment I want to have. It's not deep enough. It's not enough to say green building. I've been told, orient your building, let it alongside the east line. We'll be told all those things, green building, plant trees, have recessed windows, but is it enough? Let's go further. What are the materials that architects can use? I think one of the key factors of architecture is the use of material. What material can architects use to mitigate this issue? May look stupid, but please, what are my thoughts? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Ima Onoguyose. Definitely, it's not a stupid question. I mean, any question we are brainstorming, and I think that was included in a speaker's paper, use of materials. And that is a very, very cogent topic concerning what we are speaking about. I don't know, do you have a few comments, sir?
No, you've answered it. There are no, I always tell my son, sorry, I'm always talking about my son. I always tell him that, look, there are no such thing as stupid questions, okay? There are only, well, if you fail to learn from the answers, or if you keep asking the same question over and over again, then it becomes stupid. But for the first time, there's no stupid question. It's a search for knowledge. And the search for knowledge sometimes can seem foolish to those who are not in the know, but as long as it's a sincere search. We talked about this, but because of time, we were rushing, we were not able to go into depth. But what you have said is actually one of the most important things in addressing the impacts of climate change and trying to develop a climate resilient built environment. One of the key things you need to look at, we've talked about passive design strategies, but in addition to the passive design strategies, we also need to look at materials and products that can withstand the impacts of climate change. Materials and products that can survive being underwater. The Lafarge guy talked about that. Their cement is something like that, or high alumina bricks. And material, not even just underwater, but materials that can survive and withstand heat stress is also another consideration. You can see some places where you see the years ago in the UK, they were having a heat wave and they had issues with their rail tracks because their rail tracks had been designed for cooler temperatures, but under that level of heat, which was unanticipated, they noticed some buckling. So they had to massively slow down their trains so that they wouldn't have any accidents. So material selection is very important, but that is a highly technical session that we probably have to design and develop and organize a course specifically dedicated to that, because you may be there in the classroom for just 1 week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. You know, that is so well said. If architects cast our mind back, there was a building, I can't remember now, designed by very popular architects that had glass that was popping and breaking, a high-rise building. I don't know who can remember what building that was. And I'm also told it happened somewhere in the north, I think Sokoto Airport, some times back, when the heat was so much that the glass and steel edifice had been designed and put, say, cracking by itself. So we have to look at use of materials, our bamboo, our wood, like Architect Onoyose said. Are we exploring the full use of our materials? And you know, as we are rounding up this session, I want us to address our curriculum. in our schools of architecture. These days, when I go for juries in School of Architectures, I find they are designing 12-story buildings, 24-story buildings, and that's for BSc architecture. And I always ask the questions that, do you even know how to do the basic designs, use of materials? If you are doing a 24-story building at BSc level, you can't really go into the nitty-gritty of the design. You can't go into use of materials and all that. You can't go into the things that need to make the building work, the building livable. We must address that, concerning our archives, concerning the curriculum in our schools of architecture. We must be aware that we can use materials that are bound around us. Case in point is the Abidjan Mosque that has worldwide recognition now. And I think the architect used some pretty, basic and local materials. And it's been featured in international journals all over the world. I believe architect Tosin also did some work in the IDP camps. Using exploring the various good materials that we have. We must advocate, we must look into what we're doing. And with that, I think we can wrap up this session. I just want to wrap up by saying that we've had it all: rising sea levels, rising temperatures, and other signs of climate change. We as architects, we've been told that we are the worst culprits because we're actually responsible for the environment. We've been encouraged to go into innovative construction methods while bearing in mind durability and accessibility. Architect Muyiwa told us about retrofitting. Mr. Waniko told us about more action, less talk. We were told by Architect Toki that the poorest and the lowest level of people pay the highest prices. They are the people that live in the coastlines. They are the ones that are worst hit. They are the ones that are affected by the flooding. And one very profound point that he made was that we have to be disruptive in our mindset and our thinking. We have to embrace change. That the climate challenge is based, the outcome is based on performance. We have to look at innovative solutions like, heat islands, green car parks, net zero carbon homes. Government has to sit up. We have to put in place the Green Code, Climate Action Plan. Even as population growth in Nigeria is increasing by the day. And he said, if we want to go far, we have to go together. We have to go with the engineers. We have to go with the younger ones. We have to go with the experience of the older ones. The youth matter. And in all our doings, we should not forget that nature always strikes back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect Mrs. Titi Adele FNI. Thank you so much for that wonderful panel session. All right, quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having a product presentation video by ProBlind. Please, for just 3 minutes, for just 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, please sit back, relax, so we can see what they have. Thank you. ProBlind presentation, please.
So please, this is just a short video from ProBlind. They're going to have a product presentation tomorrow. So if you want to see them, ask questions, they'll be here tomorrow. So while that is going on, please, we're going to take some pictures with the speakers and Madam Presidents. Sir, Actor Benebo, please can you join them? And can we have
Ladies
the
and
rest of
gentlemen.
the fellows, please? Ma, please. Actor Tadeusi, please, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lagos Architects Forum 15.0, and this is day one. We have 2 more days to go, Thursday and Friday. And Saturday, we'll just go and enjoy ourselves somewhere. As for the day one today, we're almost rounding up. The next 15 minutes will be out of this space, and then we can go to the exhibitor stand and inquire, ask questions about their product as well. And then we have the architect's work and display. At the back, is it
To
the
take
entry
pictures
now?
with everyone, can you please just go up the stage? Participants, to take a group picture.
For architects that are present, we have the architect's work. It is the first stand. So please go fill your eyes, go check out some works. NI Lagos State Chapter Executives, where are you? We can't see you. Are you sure? Team NIA Lagos State Chapter.
If you're an EXCO member as well, Lagos State Chapter, please join us.
Please go fill your eyes. Check out some works.
One more shots, PRO.
NI Lagos State Chapter Executives, where are you? Can't see. Students in the house, you can also join them.
It is the Lagos Architects Forum 2024, and today, day one has come to an end. We would like to appreciate everyone that will make out time to come here today. We appreciate you, our partners, our sponsors. Madam President, we appreciate you, ma'am. Architect Eni Benebo, our immediate past president, we appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedules. Our National Treasurer, Architect Goke, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Architect Alaba, we appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out. All our fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, we appreciate you for taking time out to be with us today. Thank you so much. Our partners, our sponsors, everybody that has been here today to give a presentation or the other, West African Ceramics Limited, Surveillance Fire, Nigerite, LG,
Lafarge,
yes.
Royal Ceramics,
Sangoban, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out to partner with us. It is the Lagos Architects Forum 2024, LAF 15.0. And today we started our conversations on Lagos resilience and climate adaptation. The conversation continues tomorrow. Please be here, same time, 10 a.m., and we will start our conversations. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow. Thank you.